Hello there and welcome to another Minecraft Bedrock and Java tutorial. My name is Ra and today I'm showing you how to build a stackable automatic kelp farm. This is a very easy build and you can stack this to get mega farms like the one behind me here. We can use this farm to get dried kelp blocks for fuel and a bunch of XP from the drying of the kelp. Let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions or questions after watching this video, and also leave a like, subscribe and hit the notification bell to keep up to date with my videos. In this video I've also included a chapter to make this an automatic farm without the observers. You can find all the chapters in the description, and now let's get started with the tutorial. I've built up one stackable unit here to show you how it works. We just have one observer, one piston and a dirt block here. Now normally the kelp is already planted and it will grow itself, but to show how this works I am placing the kelp and using bone meal. We plant the kelp on the dirt block and if we bone meal this, the kelp will grow. Once the kelp reaches a length of 3, the observer detects the change and fires up the piston. The piston breaks the kelp from the second block up and the 2 pieces of kelp flow down to the transporting system. We can now collect them at the bottom with a water stream that leads to some sort of sorting system. This unit is completely stackable and you can stack as many as you want. And stackable means that you can put them next to each other and on top of each other. Here's an example on how this unit is stacked 35 wide and 5 high. And to finish how the farm works, here's some footage of the stacked farm at work. For this example I've cranked up the game tick speed to 500, so normally the kelp does not grow this fast. Alright, as said before, this farm can be stacked to pretty much whatever size you want. For this tutorial we're going to make a farm of 10 units wide and 1 high. And that is between these 2 diamond blocks here. So we're gonna start by placing 2 layers of blocks. You can use any block for this, they don't need to be solid blocks. Then a layer of dirt on top of that. Then at the back we need to go 1 block higher and place solid blocks like this. On top of this we need to place the pistons. And on top of that we need to place the observers facing that way, so we need to place them from the back. Now place solid blocks against the pistons on the back. This needs to be solid blocks, otherwise the redstone won't work. Then place redstone dust on top of those blocks and you can see that the redstone connects to the observers. So when this observer detects change, it will make a redstone signal firing the pistons. We can now build up the sides, which need to be 1 block higher than the observers here. Then at the back we need to extend this, so we can put the water on top of the observers. Now before we place the water, we need to place temporary blocks here. This is because we need to let the water flow from a water source block above every observer. If we do not do that, the kelp will not flow down properly. Now place the water and make sure that all water is a source block, so no flowing water at all. Before we can let the water flow down, we first need to make the front and sides from glass. Then we need to place the fence gates against the glass. They are at level with the kelp plants, so 1 block above the dirt. Open each fence gate that you place, otherwise some of the kelp will get stuck on top of them. You can also use signs for this, but I've chosen fence gates because they are a little cheaper to make and look better from the outside. And now we can remove the temporary blocks and let the water flow down. Every piston now fires up and should push the water against the glass. If this does not happen, you can just simply place a block in front of the observer to fire the piston again. Then the water most likely will be 1 block higher than the rest and you can place a block here to fix that. We can now place the kelp on the dirt. And finally we can place a water stream below here. If you want to stack the farm up, you just need to repeat the last building steps from the dirt upwards. The dirt can be placed above the water that is on top of the observers and the rest is the same. To completely finish the farm, you need to connect the bottom water stream to a chest, a sorting system or a smoker. Here I have connected the farm to 2 smokers. So the kelp will flow upwards, get placed in one of the smokers and dried kelp is put in the storage below it. These smokers also have a lever in front of it, so we can lock all the hoppers that go from and into the smokers. When all is locked, we can grab the dry kelp out of the smoker and get the XP as well. The dried kelp can be crafted into dried kelp blocks, which can be used for fuel, or as a decorative block for building. The farm is designed to be used with observers, as that is the most efficient way. You might however not have the resources for this or simply do not want to use observers. As shown here, we can simplify the build by removing the observers and replacing them with a redstone clock. This will fire the pistons at a time that is set by us. With the redstone clock we can choose to fire the pistons between 1 second and 4 minutes. In this example I have the clock set to about a 2-minute interval. The build is the same to what is shown before, we just place solid blocks here instead of the observers. So to build this redstone clock we need to do the following. Place a temporary block here and place a hopper into that block. Remove the temporary block and place a hopper into the other hopper, so both hoppers face each other. Place a comparator on both sides to the outside and a solid block behind that. We continue on the left of the clock with a redstone torch on the side here. Then a repeater on one tick facing this way and a solid block behind that. On the other side of the block we need to place a redstone torch. Now a repeater on one tick facing back and a solid block behind that. A redstone torch on this side of that block and a repeater on one tick into this block. Place a repeater on one tick into this block and place 2 redstone dust here. And when we place this redstone torch, the circuit of the clock is complete. We now need to connect the clock to the pistons. Place a solid block on the last placed redstone torch. Then a redstone torch and a solid block on top of that. And this redstone torch on the front of the block connects the two together. The pistons now stay extended, but that is because the clock is still off. We now need to place the blocks in the hopper to activate the clock. And to fill the clock we need to place the blocks in the left hopper. Do not place them in this hopper to start the clock, otherwise the clock will not work. You can use any block that is stackable to 64 blocks. I am using renamed blocks here, but that is not necessary. Any block that can stack to 64 will work. To get around a 2-minute interval, place 2.5 stacks in the hopper. The more blocks you put in, the longer the interval takes, so you can set the interval to whatever time you need. All the blocks will start flowing from one to the other hopper, and when this hopper is empty, the clock will give a pulse and fire the pistons to knock off any kelp higher than 1. After that the blocks drain to the other hopper and this will keep going until you remove the blocks from the clock. And that is it for this tutorial. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any suggestions or questions, then leave a comment below. And also leave a like, subscribe and hit the notification bell to keep up to date with my videos. Have a great day, stay safe and see you next time. Bye bye.